This is Clean Life. I'm Sophia, leading you into discipline, devotion, and real transformation. Here with me is our radiologist, Nancy,
Hello, everyone.
along with the rest of the Clean Life team. And together we're guiding you through the 2026 The Whole Story Bible Study Reading Challenge. Go ahead and subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you can stay consistent all year long. Tonight, we're reading Ruth 2, Ruth 3, Rule 2 is the benefit of trusting that God's favor find you when you stay faithful in the ordinary. Rule 3 is the benefits of seeing that being bold, having obedience, and position you for God's redemption to unfold. Let's dive in and grow together, chapter by chapter. All right, guys, I begin to read Ruth chapter 2. All right, how you guys doing this afternoon, evening, night, whatever time of the day it is? How you doing, Nancy?
Doing good.
All right. Ruth meets Boaz in the grain field. Now, Naomi had a relative on her husband's side, a man of standing from the clan of Elimelech, whose name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone whose eyes I find favor." Naomi said to her, "Go ahead, my daughter." So she went out into a field and began to glean behind the harvesters. As it turned out, she was working in a field belonging to Boaz, who was from the clan of Elimelech. Just then, Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. "The Lord be with you." "The Lord bless you," they answered. Boaz asked the overseers of the harvester, "Who does that young woman belong to?" The overseer replied, "She is the Moabite who came back from Moab with Naomi." She said, "Please let me glean and gather among the sheaves behind the harvester." She came into the field and has remained here from morning till now, except for a short rest in her shelter. So Boaz said to Ruth, "My daughter, listen to me. Don't go and glean another field, and don't go away from here. Stay here with the woman who worked for me. Watch the field where the men are harvesting and follow along after the woman. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you. And whenever you are thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars the man has filled." At this, she bowed down with her face to the ground. She asked him, "Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you notice me, a foreigner?" Boaz replied, "I've been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband. How you left your father and mother in your homeland and came to live with the people you did not know before. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you richly be rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. May I continue to find favor in your eyes, my Lord," she said. "You have put me at ease by speaking kindly to your servant. Though I do not have the standing of your servants." At mealtime, Boaz said to her, "Come over here, have some bread and dip it in wine vinegar." When she sat down with the harvesters, he offered her some roasted grain. She ate all she wanted and had some left over. As she got up to glean, Boaz gave orders to his men, "Let her gather among the sheaves and don't reprimand her. Even pull out some stalks for her from the bundles and leave them for her to pick up, and don't rebuke her." So Ruth gleaned in the field until evening. Then she threshed the barley she had gathered and amounted it to be about an ephah. She carried it back downtown, and her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. Ruth also brought out and gave her what she had left over after she had eaten enough. Her mother-in-law asked her, "Where did you glean that today? Where did you work? Blessed be the man who noticed of you." Then Ruth told her mother-in-law about the one at whose place she had been working. "The name of the man I work with today is Boaz," she said. "The Lord bless him," Naomi said to the daughter-in-law. "He has not stopped showing his kindness to the living and the dead," she added. That man is our close relative. He is one of our guardian redeemers. Then Ruth the Moabite said, he even said to me, stay with my workers until they finish harvesting all my grain. Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, it would be good for you, my daughter, to go with the women who work for him, because in someone else's field, you might be harmed. So Ruth stayed close to the women of Boaz to glean until the barley and wheat harvesters was finished. And she lived with her mother-in-law. All right, guys, that's the end of Ruth 2. So I'm going to give you a little takeaway. Naomi had a relative of standing Boaz already positioned in their story. God prepared provision before you arrive at the need. Some solution exists before you even know you need them. Ruth asked permission to glean behind the harvester. Faith moves through initiative, not passivity. Progress begins when you take the first step. Ruth happens to glean in Boaz's field. What feels accidental is also often divine alignment. Ordinary choices can lead to extraordinary turning points. Boaz greets his workers with blessings. Leadership carries spiritual influence. The tone you set affects everyone around you. Boaz noticed Ruth among the workers. God highlights you without self-promotion. Character draws attention more than performance. Ruth's loyalty to Naomi reported to Boaz. Faithfulness builds a testimony. People remember consistent integrity. Ruth is described as hardworking and respectful. God honors quiet perseverance. Steady effort earns trust. Boaz instructs Ruth to stay in his field for safety. God directs you towards safety covering. Stay where you are valued and protected. Let me say it again. Stay where you are valued and protected. That's for our women out there. Boaz ensures Ruth has water and protection. God's care includes practical needs. Real kindness is proactive, not reactive. Ruth is humbled by Boaz's favor. Grace surprises and softens his heart. Gratitude keeps you grounded. Boaz acknowledged Ruth's sacrifices. God sees what others overlook.
Amen.
Your unseen efforts still matter. Boaz speaks blessings over Ruth for seeking refuge in God. God rewards those who trust him. Healing begins when you allow yourself to be supported. Ruth expressed comfort in Boaz's kindness. God uses people to speak reassurance, encouragement, and restores dignity. Ruth is invited to eat with Boaz and his worker. God doesn't just provide, he includes. Belonging nourishes more than food. Boaz ordered extra grain to be left for Ruth. God's generosity exceeds minimum requirements. True generosity removes barriers. God's generosity exceeds minimum requirements. True generosity removes barriers. Ruth works until evening and gathers abundantly. Blessing still requires participation. Effort multiplies opportunity. Ruth brings her gleaning home to Naomi. Blessings flows outward. Sharing strengthens relationship. Naomi recognizes the kindness behind Ruth's provision. God's fingerprints show up through people. Gratitude reconnects you to hope. Naomi praises God for his covenant kindness. One act of kindness can revive faith. Hope often returns through community. Naomi advises Ruth to stay close to Boaz's workers. Wisdom protects blessings. Good counsels keep you aligned with opportunity. Ruth stays in Boaz's field through the entire harvest. Consistency positions you for long-term blessings. Staying planted produce fruit. Wow. Consistency positions you for long-term blessings. Staying planted produces fruit. Wow. That was so simple, but you know, do we do it? Do we stay consistent in position for long-term blessings? Or do we uproot ourselves? You know what I'm saying? It just makes you think like, do we uproot ourselves or do we stick around and stay for the long haul to see what God gonna do? Miss, you got anything you want to say about Ruth chapter 2?
No, ma'am. I think you covered it very well.
I know.
And I can say, too, when it comes to my life, that's why the Lord, I feel, has blessed me in the age that I am, because I stayed with the company that I was with, you know what I'm saying, like with the government for all those years. If I'd have been hopping here and there or whatever, I'd have gotten older and the Lord, I wouldn't have had the blessings that God has blessed me with now.
Right.
So consistency and faithfulness and being steadfast, yeah, it produces reward.
Wow. You're right. Because it can get ugly now.
Yep.
It can get ugly, but if you
Yep.
get past, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Those not so good parts, God got a
Yep.
reward for you in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, fruit gonna be there. The fruit gonna be at the end. And guess what? You're gonna be so proud of yourself.
Yep. Because I went through a whole lot of things trying to stay, with the jobs that I had and stuff. And I cried a many a day, but I thank God I was steadfast, you know what I'm saying, that I stayed with
unmovable.
Yeah, because I could have just said, I don't want to do this no more, just quit.
Yes, because I know I had a situation where, you know what I'm saying, I was looking like, God, what am I to do? But I stayed planted too. You get what I'm saying? And now God just blessed the work of my hands, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything ain't, I can say I got it made. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I still get to study. You know what I'm saying? I still get to, you know what I'm saying, do the work for the Lord and get paid. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
That's a blessing.
you can go on a job and you could be so bogged down with that job where you can't even
think.
Yes, you can't even think about, you ain't got time to do nothing for the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And I, one day I was just thinking like, Lord, you just set me up. You just set me up where, I'm not so bogged down with, the work I have to do that I can do, do both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think, Lord, you got me in full-time ministry.
Yeah.
Because I'm able to do it at work too. And I thank God for that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're going to move on to Ruth 3.
Ruth 3. Ruth and Boaz at the threshing floor. One day, Ruth's mother-in-law, Naomi, said to her, "My daughter, I must find a home for you, where you will be well provided for." Now, Boaz, with whose women you have worked, is a relative of ours. Tonight he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. Wash, put on perfume, and get dressed in your best clothes. Then go down to the threshing floor. But don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, note the place where he is lying. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do. I will do whatever you say, Ruth answered. So she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. When Boaz had finished eating and drinking and was in good spirits, he went over to lie down at the far end of the grain pile. Ruth approached quietly, uncovering his feet, and lay down. In the middle of the night, something startled the man. He turned, and there was a woman lying at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am your servant Ruth," she said. "Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family." "The Lord bless you, my daughter," he replied. "This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier. You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do for you all you asked. All the people of my town know that you are a woman of noble character. Although it is true that I am a guardian redeemer of our family, there is another who is more closely related than I." Stay here for the night, and in the morning, if he wants to do his duty as your guardian redeemer, good. Let him redeem you. But if he's not willing, as surely as the Lord lives, I will do it. Lie here until morning. So she lay at his feet until morning, but got up before anyone could be recognized. And he said, no one must know that a woman came to the threshing floor. He also said, bring me the shawl you are wearing and hold it out. When she did so, he poured into it 6 measures of barley and placed a bundle on her. Then he went back to town. When Ruth came to her mother-in-law, Naomi asked, how did it go, my daughter? Then she told her everything Boaz had done for her and added, he gave me 6 measures of barley, saying, do not go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed. Then Naomi said, wait, my daughter, until you find out what happens, for the man will not rest until the matter is settled today. That's the end of Ruth chapter 3. And my takeaway is at this point, Naomi devises a plan for Ruth to connect with Boaz, their kinsman redeemer, to secure her future and lineage. Ruth follows Naomi's instructions to prepare herself and approaches Boaz at the threshing floor. This symbolizes her hope for redemption. This chapter depicts matters of loyalty, love, faith, and divine providence, as Ruth's actions demonstrate her commitment to Naomi and her desire for a better future. Ruth's appeal to Boaz reflects the broader matter of redemption, paralleling the love of Jesus for humanity. And that's how we are. We needed a redeemer. And who is our redeemer? Jesus. Jesus is our redeemer. And it was something when you just said something about how you stay faithful and how God set you up. Now you see how she's being set up.
Yeah.
She did not go back home. She went with, Naomi, right? And she's in a strange place. But God has set her up where she decided to go out and glean. Now, who you think put that in her heart to do that? God did. And then he sent her right to the place where she needed to go, right? So that she'll be taken care of, her and Naomi both will be taken care of. God knew that Naomi knew what to do, right? Once she found out that he was the kinsman redeemer, then she knew what needed to be done by Ruth in order for him to redeem them. You get what I'm saying? It's like God already knew that she was going to come to the place that she are. It's like he set her up.
Yeah, he did.
It's like she's being set up. And that's what you was talking about a few minutes ago. How you stayed where you've been. You went through things you've been through. And that's what she did. She been going through stuff and everything. And then she found a place where she found favor with somebody. Because whether people understand it or not, or believe it or not, most of the time, even though you go through the things you go through, there's somebody God got in place that's of authority that you got favor with. And it may not seem like it, but you really do. But you have to stay, like you said, in place and stay focused, like what she's doing. She's staying in place, she's staying focused. And then you see how Naomi told her that before the day was going to be over, that Boaz was going to do what was needed.
Right.
So she could stand assured in that place.
And then too, I just wanted to bring out too how Naomi has told her what to do to go when she went to the threshing floor. You get what I'm saying? She told her to put on her best clothes. You know what I'm saying? To put on her best perfume. You know what I'm saying? Get cleaned up and go. Lay at his feet. She told him all of that. But these days, you know what I'm saying? People be like, oh, that seducing spirit. Get what I'm saying? But people don't try that, and people don't really try to hook people up no more and try to tell them what to do, because we religionize everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's true.
Right. And so that's why, you know what I'm saying, people don't really, you know what I'm saying, get what they really need and get with the people they really need, because of the fact that people can't tell nobody nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? that they don't realize. People always feel like, oh, God gonna have to tell me, but God still use people too,
Yes, he do.
right? We just got to be willing to listen. You gotta be willing to listen, and then like the mothers, how they used to be. They used to be the mothers that are talk to the younger people, younger women or whatever, and tell them,
Hmm.
what they should do. You get what I'm saying? We don't have
Yeah,
a lot of that no more either.
that's true.
But yeah, that's what kind of stood out to me though, how she told her what to do, what to put on,
Yeah,
on her perfume and go lay at his feet. Now you go
yeah.
see and do something like that now. Mm, yeah.
Yeah, she
But
told her what to do, but like I said, God set her right up. God
yeah.
set her up. Even though she didn't go back to her people, she went with Naomi. But then God set her up where she ended up at Boaz's, field
Mm-hmm.
in his threshing floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she came home and told Naomi who he was, and then Naomi said, "Oh, he's our kinsman redeemer."
Uh-huh. And what's crazy, he want the one that's supposed to be redeeming him. And look how God made it where the man didn't want her.
That's right.
You see that? He did not want her.
We
But
ain't there yet. That's why I ain't say nothing.
and he like, go too far.
Yeah, we ain't there yet. That's in 4.
Oh, okay. Okay. I guess Kyle done read Olive or whatever.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about, yeah, okay, so I did go on, but he did tell her that she had to wait though, because
Yeah.
he won't next in line and all this, that, whatever like that.
Mhm.
But you see, even before, like, cause it's good to me. Cause you see, even like before she left, he covered her up to make sure
Yeah.
nobody wants it, and then sent her with some more stuff to take with.
Yeah.
Look, he got
Send her with everything that Naomi needed as far as
yeah,
that day and beyond was concerned. And then
yes.
you got to look at how God is a God of order, because
Mm,
even though he was the one approached regarding being a kinsman redeemer, he explained to her, well, there's somebody that's closer than I am.
right.
And he wanted to make sure that he didn't overstep his, bounds and stuff.
And he wanted to make sure she understood everything. He gave her
Mhm.
clarity. You know what I'm saying? He gave her
Yeah.
clarity. And I'm not saying all men is like that, but I'm saying a lot of men don't want to tell you nothing. They want to leave you in the dark and have you thinking like you don't know what's going on. But I see right here, he explained to her and
Yeah.
let her know, hey, if he don't do it, I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He gave, you know what I'm saying? He gave us something to think about, like, hey, if he don't do it, he gave her some assurance that,
Yeah.
if he don't do it, I'll do it. But you will have somebody that's going to do it for you,
That's
you
right.
know? And so that's what I like about it, too. Okay. Well, I was going to give some background information, but I might wait 2 weeks. Because this the last one, right? We only got one more after this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna get a background history on it, but I'm gonna just wait, huh? It's only 4 chapters. Yeah, so I'm gonna just wait and I just give it on the last one because I
Okay.
want to kind of like get a history on it or whatever. So guys, that's the end of Ruth 2 and 3. And Nancy, did you want to add anything else? Is that it?
No, I didn't want to add anything else. I just, to me, I'm just kind of in amazement of it. That's why when you went on further, I can understand why you would want to, because there's nothing like, even though it seemed like when she said call her Mara or whatever like that, because God had dealt with her in a particular way, like not a favorable way. But if you look at this, you can see that even though it seemed like she didn't have favor, as you go on, you're going to find out she had more favor than she ever thought.
Yeah,
Because he's going to be in the lineage of Jesus.
Yeah. Set her right on up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I wanted to give a little history about how when her family went and left and went somewhere else, they had uprooted themselves, and that's why her husband. Well, I'm gonna tell it later though, but that's why her husband ended up in the place he was in. They was kind of out of place.
One
And that's
thing
how
about you can't be out of place.
and that's how the stuff happened to them. So really, God was really getting her back where she was, Naomi, back where she was supposed to be, back planted where she was supposed to be, and with her roots. That's what he did. But like I said, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna move on to the segment where you give your life to the Lord. My granddaughter's here, Haley. She'll read Romans 10, verse 9 for you.
Romans 10, verse 9. If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Come as you are, and God will do the cleaning up.
All right, guys, come as you are, and God will do the cleaning up. Like I always say, guys, make sure you witness. Always got Jesus on your tongue, and always ready to have him in your mouth, ready to tell him about the goodness of the Lord, because he is good, y'all. He is good. In the same way he doing it for Ruth and Naomi, he gonna do it for us too. He have already done it, and he gonna do even more.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Just believe and trust. Just give your life to him. If you want more, you want better, you won't want to serve. You won't serve another God when you let you serve Jesus Christ as your Lord and your Savior. I'm telling you, because you can't get no better than that. You just can't. It ain't no way around it. You can look high, low. You can look through people. You're not gonna get it through people. Only way you're gonna get this real love is through Jesus Christ. All right, guys. So I'm gonna just move on next. You got anything else you want to say?
No, ma'am.
All right. I just got a lot. Okay, now. We appreciate your time, Clean Life. Share the inspiration by following us on Facebook and subscribing to Clean Life Sequoia on YouTube. Hold close the promise of Romans 10 and verse 9, and know that you're surrounded by our love and God's love. And I just want y'all to have a prosperous weekend. And not only that, a prosperous life. And we'll see you next Friday. Lord's willing, we'll be here next Friday with the end of Ruth 4. And where we go to next after Ruth 4? What's after Ruth 4? Samuel, right? First Samuel will be next. So we'll be in another book next week. Right, First Samuel, right? Yeah, we're going to First Samuel. I love that book too, so that's gonna be good for us too. And that's gonna be a lot about hearing the voice of God and stuff, right? God talking to us. Yeah, that's gonna be good, because we all need to know God's voice, when he calling us and talking to us. So all right, guys, so I'm gonna end on that. Goodbye. Have a prosperous weekend and a good life. And peace. See you next Friday.
Goodbye, everyone.